to select the file itself. And I guess it's, oh, I did it. Okay. So cold storage file, and I'm going to click on mount. Actually accidentally saved that to my home directory, but we'll just put it on the USB drive later. It's no big deal. And type in the bullshit password that I came up with.
Should you have that cache thing selected?
It doesn't matter. So now it's mounted, and if I was going to double click on it, you would see that there's this new open space that's been created, and it's been mounted as TrueCrypt1, so that's the first volume. If I was going to mount some more encrypted file containers, then they're called TrueCrypt2, TrueCrypt3, and so forth. So now TrueCrypt is all set. We're ready to start copying files to it. If I want to, I could create a new document. Hello.txt, and there's a new file that's on my encrypted thing. Now we want to actually put some Bitcoin files on there, right? So let's go back to the, do you have any questions about that? Good so far? Okay, great. Am I going too fast or too slow for people? Fine. So going back to the home directory, before we copied TrueCrypt installer, and we also copied this Bitcoin thing. So we're ready to use BitcoinQT now. So I'm going to right click that, and just as I did before, extract it. And it's going to create this Bitcoin folder right here. Go inside of that. We're going to go in the binary subdirectory for 32 bits. And here's the BitcoinQT client. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that. And it's going to start opening up BitcoinQT. Now this is a general thing about clients, Bitcoin clients, when you install them on a computer. When you open them for the first time, you don't have any addresses or any wallet files on your computer. So the first thing it will do is actually create one for you. So that's what it did. It's already done with that. It's already loaded it. And if I go into the Receive tab of BitcoinQT, you'll see it created this new Bitcoin address for me. 1 PKD, so forth. And some more stuff that you'll see on here. There's a 0 Bitcoin balance, of course. There are no transactions. And none of the blockchain has been downloaded whatsoever. It's 254 weeks behind because that's how old the blockchain is at this point. That's fine. So we're actually, that's all we needed to do with the Bitcoin QT client, except the last thing that we need to do is we need to actually back up the Bitcoin wallet file that was generated that's going to contain this new address. So this is the address where we can send our Bitcoins to, and they will be in cold storage when we do so. And we could actually do that right now if we wanted to. But first, what we really should do is we should complete this process, make backups onto our encrypted drive, finish with this whole thing, take the USB drive out, connect it to another computer, make a backup of the encrypted file that we just created, and make sure everything is backed up so that, because otherwise if you lose this wallet file, you're screwed. Any Bitcoins that you send to that address, you're never going to get them. So, because you're a stranger to that Bitcoin address without the private key. Yes?
How important is it that you're not connected to the internet at this stage of the process?
If you were connected to the internet at this stage, then you would not be doing cold storage. You would just be creating another wallet file.
Put on a USB drive.
On a USB drive, but if somehow malware happened to infect my computer at this moment by virtue of having it plugged into the internet, then it could still steal that wallet file, steal that private key secret that you need to access that Bitcoin vault and take the Bitcoins out of it without your permission. Does that make sense? So at this point, you could jot down the address, or what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right-click on this. I'm going to go to copy address. I'm gonna go back to my mounted TrueCrypt 1 volume, and I'll open up this text file. And let's see. What happens if I look at this? I want to display it. Should open gedit. Yeah, okay, so this is like a little text editor that's built into Ubuntu Linux. I'm just going to paste the address right in there. You could even, you wouldn't even necessarily have to put it on the encrypted file. You could just save it right to the USB drive too. So I'll do that. Let's do that now. Make a new text file, pasting it in there, and I'm going to save it right to my USB drive. Cool. Oops. Cold storage address.txt. And that's not a secret at all. That's the public thing that that people can know about. If you want to have good Bitcoin privacy, you don't want to tell people about it. But if you're not concerned about privacy, if you just want it to be secure, then that's fine. So we've got that. And the last thing that we need to do in BitcoinQT is we need to actually back up the wallet file that it created when it created this new address. So the way that we do that is we go to the top of the screen, we go to File, and we go to Backup Wallet. And it has this function built right in. And if we go to our encrypted, make sure to go to the encrypted TrueCrypt volume, TrueCrypt 1, and we'll just call it like wallet backup. And Bitcoin tells us the wallet data was successfully saved to the new location. And we'll just go ahead and confirm that if we're going into this TrueCrypt 1 volume, okay, there's our wallet backup file. If we're going to look at the properties, it looks right. It's 69 kilobits in size. It's not blank. Everything looks good. And it's actually very important that you use that backup wallet function built into BitcoinQT, because what some people will tell you to do is they'll say, oh, well, BitcoinQT, it creates a wallet.dat file. So if you just copy that, and you paste that, then you'll be fine. But they're wrong. They're lying to you. They're trying to screw you up. No, they're just mistaken. When Bitcoin clients are open, they're like doing stuff to the wallet file. And so if you still have your client open and you copy the file in the background, it may be in this weird indeterminate state that's not ready to be copied. So you always want to use this file backup wallet operation to make it happen.
Now, if you had the full blockchain downloaded at that point and you were doing a copy of it, how long would that take? Just be like a copy of a file?
Copy of blockchain?
Well, so the size of that is 64 kilobits, you said, right?
Yeah. So BitcoinQT, it has a directory where it's storing all this stuff. And it stores them in a few different files. So the wallet.dat file is the wallet file. It's got a blocks directory, a chain state directory. And the blocks and the chain state directory together, those are going to be around 13 gigabytes right now. And those together basically represent the blockchain that's been downloaded. So if you wanted to just copy the wallet file, you don't need to copy the whole blockchain along with it. So we're done with that. So we can close BitcoinQT. We can go back to TrueCrypt. We can dismount the volume that we mounted before. And now that it's dismounted, it's not accessible to the operating system any longer. It's not in a decrypted state any longer. And we can exit out of that. And close this. It's just it dismounted it before. So that was TrueCrypt. So now what we have is we have that encrypted file that's on the USB drive. be jotted down or be copied down the address to actually send the coins to in cold storage. And we're all set with that. So we could just unplug the drive and make a backup copy, and using your favorite, Bitcoin client or whatever, wherever you have your Bitcoins right now, you can go ahead and send the Bitcoins to the address. They would now be considered to be in cold storage because that secret private key that you need to actually access those Bitcoins is encrypted and put on the USB drive. So that no one can get to it unless they break that encryption, basically.
So you can send it when it's offline? That's what I'm confused.
Yeah, you can send it. You can send Bitcoins without the address needing to be online in any sense, because because the Bitcoin network doesn't need to. You don't need to announce to Bitcoin network like, hey, here's the address that I want to be able to send to. It just knows what an address looks like, and it says, oh yeah, this looks valid. Go ahead and send to it. And in fact, you could, if you wanted to, you could, in your imagination, come up with a Bitcoin address that you never created in a Bitcoin client, and you could just start sending Bitcoins to it if you want to. And as long as it's the right kind of format, it will let you do that. You just will never be able to get them again because it doesn't exist, right? Yeah.